So welcome back to Excelsior Academy. So in continuation of the organelles of the cells which we were studying in the previous lecture, we talked about nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi, lysosomes, peroxisomes, and chloroplasts, right? Now this is about the cytoskeleton, which is actually forming the components and the structural part of your cell. Okay, so the cytosol is having the major cytocellular metabolism. So we all know that your glycolysis, many of your reactions, chemical reactions are taking place in the cytoplasm only, and it has got large number of enzymes also, because we know so many biochemical reactions are going on. Now, if suppose a cell is pre-treated with non-ionic detergent, for example, let us say Triton X100, so what will happen? It will permealizes the membrane and all the proteins will diffuse away. So what is happening? It is making your cell membrane permeable. It is not disrupting the cell. It is just making the cell membrane more permeable, because of which what will happen? All your soluble cytosolic proteins will come out. Now, so in this, in order to understand how the cytoskeleton looks like, electromicrographs were taken of the detergent extracted animal cells. So two types of structures were found. One is membrane limited organelles and the filaments of the cytoskeleton. Okay, so let's see how the electromicrograph looks like. So this is your electromicrograph. Now once you see for the first time, it won't be clear to us, right? So we'll go one by one. So first one is your microvilli. So these are your microvilli projections. So remember, I have mentioned that wherever your microvilli are present, over there your actin filaments are present. So mainly these microvilli which is present over here like this, it is rich in having the core actin elements are there. Okay, so actin filaments are there, sorry. Now these bundle of microfilaments, they form the microvilli core. So wherever you have got your mucous membrane is there, cilia is present, all those microvilli of your intestinal lumen present over there, everywhere you have got your actin filaments. Okay, now let's go below that. So then we have got the bundle continues into a cell as called the short rootlet. So these are again cross braced by the connecting fibers of the intestinal isoform of the spectrin. So can you see? So remember in the RBC when we were talking about, we talked about that membrane is there. One second. Okay, membrane is there. We talked about band 3, right? So band 3 again it is having the ankyrin over here, and below ankyrin you had your spectrin. Now this pectin is again attached to your actin. If you remember the previous lectures image over there, when we were talking about the erythrocytes and about the band 3, over there the figure was given like that. Okay, now just keeping that image into your mind, look it over here. So we have got the microvilli made up of actin over here. Okay, now again below that you have got these actin filaments, roots are there. Okay, so these are the roots of your actin filaments. Now to this actin filaments, your spectrin fibers are connected. Now, if you talked about the band 3, now band 3 is present in the case of erythrocytes. Here we are talking about the intestinal epithelial cells. So here we won't see band 3. So here we have got the actin, then actin roots are there to which your spectrin fibers are present. Now these spectrin fibers are again in connection with the intermediate filaments, for example, keratin. Okay. Is it clear? This electromicrograph figure is clear to everyone? Rinki Mahima, is it clear? Or should I
Yes,
repeat?
ma'am.
It's clear,
Ma'am,
right?
where is ankyrin?
What? Where is
Ma'am,
ankyrin?
ankyrin.
Ankyrin is
Yes.
present below or below your band 3. That is in the case of erythrocyte. This is your intestinal epithelial cell. Okay. So that I was
Okay.
mentioning just so that you can remember the figure. So in this case, it is your, see, this one is your actin roots. Then you have your spectrin fibers are there. Can you see this different color over here? This is your spectrin fibers. Okay. Then they are in connection with the IF. Which one? Keratin. Okay. So there are different IF are there. For example, lamins are there. Lamins are present in the nuclear envelope. So we'll come to that slowly. Okay. So whenever you talk about cell biology, always keep your image ready, because if suppose image is clear to you, then you can remember everything. it becomes easy actually to do any question now. So we know that there are three types of cytoskeleton now. So and they are divided based on their diameter and the subunit arrangement. So first one is your AF, that is actin filament. It is the microfilaments because this one is the smallest one, and it has got the diameter of 8 to 9 nanometer. It is made up of what are the monomers of the actin filaments? Anyone? So you can see that these are the small subunits present over here, right? So each subunit is made up of some monomer. What is the name of the monomer? It is G-actin, right? Now once it forms like this, it becomes F-actin. Now what this G and F stands for? Any idea? So here G stands for globular and F stands for filamentous. Okay, so whenever I talk about G-actin, F-actin, it should click to your mind. Now when we talk about microfilaments, so these are your microfilaments. So those are your F-actin. Now each monomer is G-actin. Okay, where G stands for globular. Okay, then microtubules are there. It is the hollow tube-like structures having the 24 nanometer as diameter, and they are formed by the adjacent protofilaments. So what does it mean? It means that each tubulin monomers are there. So microtubules are made up of alpha and beta tubulin. Okay, so these are the monomers. So they are made up of alpha and beta. So can you see how nicely they are arranged? So each one is called one protofilament. It is called protofilament. And together these protofilaments forms the microtubules. And that's why in between we have got the hollow space. So here in the center it is hollow. Okay. Now, coming to the intermediate filaments, so as the name suggests, the diameter is between the microfilaments and the microtubules. So it is around 10 nanometer diameter structure is there. So again in IF also. So IF is little bit different from your actin filaments and microtubules. Now, in what respect it is different? In the case of actin filaments and microtubules, each small monomeric subunits are there which get arranged, and then you get the filamentous structure, right, or the protofilament structure. Now in the case of IF, you can see that these are the proteins which are actually twisted together. Okay, for example, let us say that you have got lamins. So lamins are IF, intermediate filaments which are present in the nuclear envelope. They are present in the nuclear envelope. So lamins, they are made up of two types are there, A and C. Now all those two, lamin A and lamin C, are connected by lamin P. Okay, so if you remember all this thing, these are actually nothing but your alpha helical proteins only, alpha helical proteins. So how will be the structure? I'll just give you one example. So it is like this. You have got one protein A over here, and then you have got another protein like this. So they are coiled structures. So all these proteins will be coiled to each other. So many AC coiled structures will be there. So they come together to form this particular strand like this. And it forms the intermediate filament. Now, for example, to make it more clear, if you take one strand of your hair, one single strand of hair, okay, and then observe under the microscope. So you can see that even though you say that it is one single strand, so many layers of keratin intermediate filaments you can see. So you can cross section and see so many will be present. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so this is the table so that you can understand the actin filaments 42 kilodalton is there, MREB protein is there. Now this is very important to remember. This is so actin and MRB are actually similar proteins. So MREB proteins are actin only. Actin are evolved from MRB proteins. Okay. So what is MRB proteins? They are the proteins responsible for giving the bacteria rod shape. Now, if suppose it is absent, what will happen? The bacteria will have spherical shape. Now, this is very important to remember. Now, what determines the shape of the bacteria? It is the MREB protein. which is nothing but the actin homologue. Okay, so if it is present, it means the bacteria will have a rod shape. If it is absent, then it will have spherical shape. Okay, 1 second, just wait. Yeah, okay. So now coming to the microtubules. So we have got the alpha beta tubulin and then FTZ. So again, these are the homologue. Okay. So these are present on the eukaryotes, FTZ present in the bacteria. Again, tubulin, we know that microtubules helps in the cell division. So FTZ is again present for the cell division. Now, where do you see the cell division FTZ? Whenever your bacteria is there, it is undergoing binary division, right? Binary fission. So what will happen? It will go increase in the size. What will happen? Finally, it divides from here, right? So this division is carried out by FTZ. Clear? So they form the contractile ring and eventually it splits into two. So this is how all these proteins are playing important role in the cell division. So we'll come to that. Then we have intermediate filaments, lamins, as I said, it is present in the nuclear membrane. Then we have a desmin, keratin, vimentin. So it is present for the cell adhesion. So when we talk about the cellular junctions, where we talk about the desmosomes, hemidesmosomes, cell adhesion, junction, gap junctions, tight junctions. So there we will talk about these IF. Okay, is this table clear? Please remember about the MRB and FTSZ. It is very, very important with respect to your part B of your CSIR exam. Okay, many times this question has come. Okay, now how these are, this figure will show you the localization of the proteins where all these cytoskeleton proteins are present. So again, they have taken the example of the intestinal absorptive epithelial cells only. So as already mentioned, so in the microvilli case, you can have the maximum of your actin filaments, right? Now, look at over here. In the case of your microtubules, so microtubules mainly seen, this is like your highways. Okay, so only one kind of one. So this is like your national highways, which is connecting, you know, all the cities and all the states of the country. So you can see that long microtubules are present. That is reaching one end of the cell to the other end. Now, when I say one end to the other end, in the case of epithelial cells, absorptive epithelial cells, this region is called the apical end, and this region is called the basolateral. Okay. So here the membrane properties are also going to be differing from your apical ones, even the function also. So we know that the apical region, it is going to absorb the nutrients, whereas from the basolateral region, it goes into the blood system. Okay. So microtubules are responsible for, you know, connecting one end to the another end. Then talking about the IFs, that is intermediate filaments. So they are also present from one end of the cell to the another end. So it is the intermediate filaments which is actually responsible for connecting two cells or adhering two cells together. Okay, so either they are present over here, these. So these two cells will be adhered to each other with the help of IF. Again, IF is also responsible for keeping your cells adhered to the extracellular matrix, that is over here. Now this is done with the help of, between the two cells, it is with the help of desmosomes. So two cells are connected or adhered to each other with the help of the desmosomes, and to the extracellular matrix and the cell, it is the hemidesmosomes. Am I clear? Is it clear?
Repeat. Ma'am, hemidesmosomes, repeat.
Okay, see what is happening is, so we know about actin, MT and IFs now. Okay, now the function of IF I'm telling you. So two cells are there, they are seen together, right? Now these cells are attached or adhered to each other with the help of IFs. Now how IF is helping? By connecting with the desmosomes. Okay, so we'll come to this, what are desmosomes and all. So they're nothing but the cell adhesion junctions are there. So that is keeping your two cells together. Now those are desmosomes between two cells. Okay, now if it is between the cell and the extracellular portion, that the cell is standing on over here, right? So this is done with the help of the hemidesmosomes. Between two cells, it is desmosomes. Between the cell and the extracellular matrix, it is the hemidesmosomes. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, so this is what.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, desmosomes are similar like plasmodesmata.
No. It's totally different. Desmosomes are responsible for keeping two cells together, whereas plasmodesmata is connecting the material from one plant cell to the another plant cell, right? And over there, plasmodesmata is made up of ER. It's actually the extensions of endoplasmic reticulum, whereas desmosomes are nothing but collection or the complex of proteins. It is very complex, like around, I don't know, I mean, I can't say also, it is more than 25 proteins are involved, keeping all those together. Now, if there is no desmosomes, what will happen? The cells will not be adhering to each other. So they will be free moving here and there, how in the case of cancer. So suppose something goes wrong with the desmosomes, what will happen? Those cells becomes cancerous in nature. Okay. Because in the cancer cells, they are not connected to each other. They are just freely rotating, not rotating, freely moving here and there, right? If your cells are adhered to each other like this, they are connected, then it means the desmosomes are playing their role. I suppose some mutation happened to the desmosomal proteins, then it leads to cancer. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Now, so simple bacterial cytoskeleton controls the cell length, width, and the site of cell division. So this is all what now is being read is already explained in the table. Okay. So FTAZ protein, it is the homologue of the tubulin, and it is participating in the cell division. So results of the biochemical experiments when carried out with the pure form of this protein, it said that it forms the protofilaments. So remember in the case of microtubules, I said that alpha and beta tubulin form together, right? And they form one protofilament. So many are there together, they form the microtubules, hollow kind of structure. Whereas in the case of FTAZ, it is only the protofilaments. They do not, the other protofilaments do not come together to form the microtubules. So what is the difference? In the case of eukaryotes, alpha, beta, tubulin come together to form the protofilaments. Protofilaments come together to form the microtubules. Whereas in the case of bacteria, they only form protofilaments. Okay, clear? Now what will happen? So if bacteria is there, they start forming the ring over here, eventually leading to two daughter cells. Okay, I guess I have the figure also. Yes. So over here, if you see the figure, this is the protein FTSZ, my protofilaments. What will happen? It is helping slowly. What will happen? The cell get divided into two. Now, if suppose MRB protein is present, it means that the bacteria is going to have the rod shape. Okay. If suppose it was absent, then it is going to have the spherical shape or the cocci shape in the case of S or S. So now if you see that, for example, rod-shaped bacteria like Bacillus or E. coli, it means what those proteins are going, it means that those bacteria are going to have the expression of MRB proteins. Okay. Now suppose someone asks who or which determines the shape of the bacteria, then you can say it is the MRB protein. Okay. So now about the MRB protein, as I said, it is similar to actin filaments. So it determines the shape of the bacteria. So presence means rod shape, absence means spherical shape. Okay. So this is what is explained over here also in the figure. Yes. Now coming to talk about each filaments. So microfilaments. The distinctive shape of the cell depends on the organization of actin filaments and the protein that connect microfilaments to the membrane. So this is what they're talking about, what we have discussed in the electromicrograph. So you have got the actin filaments, it is bound to the spectrin, right? And along with the spectrin, there are other proteins also, small proteins like abducin is there, your band 4.1 is there. So all those are called membrane microfilament binding proteins. So when they are attached to bundle of these filaments, the membrane acquires the finger-like shape of microvillus or similar projections. So depending on these microfilament binding proteins, what will happen? You are getting the shape of the microvilli. If suppose these proteins are not present and they are present in the planar, so what will happen? Then it becomes flat surface like how it is present in the RBC. Are you getting the point over here? if you have the membrane microfilament binding proteins, then it takes the shape of the microvilli. If you don't have such proteins and only planar network of filaments are there, okay, then it will have the flat surface, how it is present in the case of RBC. So you can see that how actin filaments are behaving different depending on its function in that respective cell. Is it clear? So this in the case of microvilli and this in the case of RBC. Okay. See it over here. So these are your membrane binding proteins along with your actins. So here we have your band3 is there, glycophorin is there. Now again we are back to the erythrocyte. Okay. So you can see that band3 is there, below that ankyrin is there, below this your spectrin is there. Now how spectrin is attached to actin, it is shown over here. So you have got, this is your spectrin, this pink color thing is your actin, and all these are attached or associated with each other with the help of the other proteins like adenosine, band 4.1, tropomyosin and tropomodulin. So all these are helping and are also called the membrane binding microfilament proteins. Okay, is it clear? Is this figure is clear? If you remember the figure, then it is easy to remember what all proteins are involved in the association. Is it clear? No? Or should I repeat? Yes, Mahima, should I repeat?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now talking about the intermediate filaments. So right now we are just giving the introduction to these. Later in coming chapters, we are going to study in detail. So we have got plenty of intermediate filaments like keratin, vimentin, lamin. So everything in detail, we have to study all this. Okay. So they crisscross the cytosol, forming the internal framework that stretches from the nuclear envelope to the plasma membrane. So in this case, if suppose this is your cell, this is your nucleus. From nucleus, that is near the nuclear envelope, it will go towards the periphery of the cell. So it will look something like this. So it is also present adjacent to some cellular membranes where it provides mechanical support. So you will have another cell also over here, and all these intermediate filaments will be in connection to each other. Now that connection is nothing but your desmosomes. Okay. Now, in the case of nuclear envelope, we have got lamin A, C filaments, which together are associated with B. So, entire this lamin A, C, and B together supports the nuclear envelope structure. And this is how the largest organelle, the nucleus, is maintaining its architecture inside the cytoplasm because of the help of the intermediate filaments. Now, this is how the fluorescent micrograph of your IF looks like. So you have got the nucleus over here, and from the nuclear envelope, you can see where the maximum fluorescence is seen. That is at the nuclear envelope. All these intermediate filaments are extending towards the periphery of the cell, like this, right? So here also, as I mentioned, so desmosomes between the adjacent cells and hemidesmosomes between the cell and the matrix. Okay. Now coming to the microtubules. So microtubules, they radiate from the centrosome. So where do you see the centrosome? During your mitosis inside the cell, right? So you see the centrosome from where the microtubules or your spindle fibers originate. So it is the primary microtubule organizing center in animal cells. So these microtubules, when they start forming, so inside the cell, you have got the centrosomes, right? And from here, your spindle fibers or your microtubules start radiating. So at this end, it is called negative and this is called positive. Now why positive? Because at this end, more of your alpha beta tubulins will be added, right? So polymerization is happening over here, and in this end, depolymerization happens. Okay, and that's why it is called the plus end, because more of alpha beta tubulins will be added, and that's how the spindle fibers are extending its length. And because of this plus and negative end, it has got two distinct orientations, and which gives the polarity to the microtubules. Now, in this case, the same thing, the mTOF is located at the center of the cell near the nucleus. The radiating microtubules are all oriented with a plus and directed towards the cell periphery. So you will have like this. So plus end over here. And near the centrosome, it will be negative. Please remember this point, okay? It is important. Now again the fluorescence micrograph. So you can see that this green colored one is your microtubules, whereas at the center you can see you have got the orange color, right? This orange color is your mTOF. So now you can see how many microtubules are extending towards the periphery. So towards the periphery, these each end is going to be known as the plus end of the microtubules, and towards the center over here it will having the negative end of your microtubules. Yes, so that was all about the cytoskeleton proteins. We talked about actin, filaments, microtubules, and we also talked about the intermediate filaments. So this was all just the introduction to the organelles which we are studying, and then later we will be doing in detail. Okay, so thank you for listening. If any doubts are there,